This Ladbrokes Challenge Cup 5th round tie comes to you from West Yorkshire, where 3 times winners Featherstone Rovers have travelled the 15 or so miles to the home of the first ever winners of this prestigious competition, the Batley Bulldogs. Only one will progress today and move one step closer to a possible Wembley appearance. Already in the 6th round draw after last night's games were the victorious Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, winning out 44 points to 10 against Sheffield, courtesy of 20 points from Liam Finn. And Dewsbury overcame some very stern York resistance to win out the end 30 points to 16. Today already we have had a massive shock. Oldham, recently promoted to the Championship, have beaten Super League's Hull Kingston Rovers 36 points to 22. And there is another shock on the cards, because half-time over in France, Championship leaders Lee are trailing Toulouse, who are third in League One, by 8 points to 0. We have 3 games tomorrow, all 3 o'clock starts. Halifax against the amateurs from Lough Lane, Hunsel against Super League Salford, and Super League's Widnes travel to Rochdale. Okay, look at the sides here today, and the Batley Bulldogs got into round 5 courtesy of a remarkable win in round 4 at home against Whitehaven. Scores locked at 36 points apiece, heading into the 75th minute, when Dom Brambani, number 7 today, kicked a drop goal, 37 points to 36. Batley won out. Their side has Dave Scott at fullback, Wayne Retty and Sean Ainscough on the wings, Danny Cowling and Sean Squires are the centres, and Brambani is partnered by Kane Southernwood. That half-back pairing as good as we've seen in the Championship in these early months. And in the pack, ever-present in the front row, Keegan Hurst, Luke Blake and James Brown. Also without missing a game this season are Alex Bretherton and Pat Walker. Brad Day comes in for his 3rd consecutive start. And on the bench, Adam Gledhill, Tom Lillycrop, Alistair Leake and James Harrison. You will hear plenty about their head coach, John Keir. Twice as head coach he has won the Challenge Cup, once of course famously with Sheffield, and then almost equally famously with Hull FC against the Leeds Rhinos. Now, Featherstone in round 4 travel to play London, trailing before a huge amount of points piled up in the second half, 44 in total, saw them win out 48 points to 26. Ian Hardman scored 5 tries in that game. He is fullback. On the wings, Kyron Johnson and Scott Turner. The centres are Bradley Tagg and Missy Telopapa. Will Milner and Danny Craven will play in the halves. And in the pack, Bostock Davies and Ormond Royd make up the front row. Jamie Cording, who has Super League experience, is in the back row, alongside Tim Spears and Colton Roach. Now, a severe facial injury suffered in that London victory means that Anthony Thackeray makes just his first appearance since that game. He wears the number 7 jersey and is on the bench alongside Luke Cooper, Liam Blockley and the former England international Darryl Griffith. The coach of Featherstone, John Sharp, of course, coached Huddersfield to a Wembley final defeat against Saints in 2006. Well, the Featherstone Rovers fans, as I say, have travelled a very short distance, and this week I'm sure the name of Steve Quinn will be on their lips. Record point scorer, record goal scorer, and the man whose cool kick won the 1983 Wembley Challenge Cup final for Featherstone against much fancied Hull FC. Sadly, Steve Quinn passed away earlier this week. And this is the famous trophy which everyone in the world of rugby league hopes to compete for, the Challenge Cup. We've played the final at Wembley. We expect the Batley team to come out shortly. Quite a sizable crowd building here in West Yorkshire. Clouds have just come over the ground. It started off as a very nice day, nowhere comparable to last night's horrendous conditions at Headingley. They have met, of course, earlier this season in round 2, and it was Featherstone, courtesy of a Kyle Briggs penalty, that were victorious, 14 points to 12. Narrowest of underdogs today, the Featherstone Rovers. Batley with the home ground advantage. The odds compilers make them slight favourites going into this. As I said, both teams have won the Challenge Cup 3 times. Batley indeed won 3 of the first ever 5 Challenge Cup finals. Well, John Keir is in his last season as coach of Batley. Matt Diskin earlier this week has been announced as the head coach for 3 years, starting in 2017, when John Keir will go to the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Return there, but at this time his capacity will be director of rugby. Featherstone's record here is excellent. They have won their last 10 visits to Batley. Batley will be aware that Keegan Hurst comes out with his 2 children, Taylor and Fletcher. It is his 100th appearance for the Batley Bulldogs, and they will look for him to inspire them against the side that have beaten them home and away in the last 6 fixtures. Well, the form guide is hard to read. The Batley Bulldogs had the best start to the season. They currently find themselves in third in the championship, but Featherstone Rovers have come good of late. They are sitting right now in fifth. Gareth Hewer will soon get this game underway. For what we, as I said, we expect to be a very competitive and a very tight Challenge Cup game. We'll throw now to your commentary team, who will take you through both of the halves. Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor, and they're led by Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. Gareth Hewer is the referee for this one. Saw him in action in the south of France last week, in actual fact, so he's having an exotic life at the moment. Perpignan one weekend and Batley the following weekend. And this could be quite a contest between these two sides. Third and fifth on the championship table. Maybe a little bit of cup nerves going into this game, because Batley have lost their last two, Featherstone have lost two of the last three. And of course there is a big prize at stake, place in the last 16, chance to take on one of the Super League big guns, and maybe Oldham have shown the way already today with that victory against Hull Kingston Rovers. So Batley and Featherstone getting us underway, and Batley significantly have chosen to play up the hill. They won the toss, opted to play up the hill. Maybe an indication of their confidence, of their ability to outlast Featherstone.
They're always confident, Bill. You look at the home form this year, they're unbeaten in 6 games. So John Keir knows exactly how to play the conditions, play on this pitch, as do the players led by this man, Keegan Hurst. He's going to be strong today up against a very good set of forwards from Featherstone. It's going to be all about the speed, all about the kicking game. Watch for Danny Craven with his long kicking game, especially in this first half, turning Batley around.
Keegan Hurst with plenty of incentive. It's not just his 100th appearance for Batley, he's also an ex-Featherstone player, played 20 games for them in the 2014 season. The kick finding touch, and that'll be a satisfactory start for the Bulldogs.
That'll be a pattern that both teams will use. High completions, low risk, especially when you're coming from that bottom corner. And as Tez has said, Batley will know perfectly well how to handle this. John Keir, a wily old operator. And in the previous meeting, we've mentioned the result, of course. Featherstone 14, Batley 12. But the Batley team completed at 100% for over an hour in that game. So they certainly know how to retain the ball.
Well, that's a huge stat, that, but I think when you watch this game today, Bill, it's the purest form of rugby league. In Super League, where we see the attacking shape played by all the sides, which is more or less the same sort of thing. When you play in the Championship, it's like lads who've been shown the door by some Super League clubs, and they just want to play rugby. They just play what's in front of them, and they enjoy it.
Missy Talapapa is tackled for Featherstone Rovers, coming down the hill then. Danny Craven involved there on a season-long loan from the Widnes Vikings, so bringing Super League experience to the side, putting the kick in. And it's a good one as well. Just picking up pace as you'd expect down the hill, and Ainscough seeing that one. There is Danny Craven. Decided that he wasn't going to get a look in at the Vikings, and so he's opted for game time with Featherstone Rovers.
And he's played well as well in his time in the Featherstone jersey. That'll be a big part of Featherstone's kicking game in this first half. Kicking it to Sean Ainscoe's side, because that's where it's at the lowest depth on this side. There's a fall of maybe 10 feet from the top to the bottom, so I'm sure they'll be asking questions of Sean Ainscoe.
Missy Talapapa with a big tackle on Luke Blake. And here is Keegan Hurst. He's 10 metres inside at Featherstone half. And Dom Brambani puts boot to ball. It's fielded by Karen Johnson.
Well, both of the sides getting through the set to 6 early on in this game. Here's the line speed from Batley. Oh, they have to work extra hard going up the hill. It's easier when you're defending in the first half to come down the hill, but you've got to get off the line, got to be very aggressive, be in contact, and with your line speed.
Featherstone with Jack Ormondroyd, very highly rated prop. The two Super League clubs apparently having a look at him. Craven has gone for a 40-20. But Ainscoe nonchalantly dealt with that one. That could have gone, as can sometimes happen with Sean Ainscoe, could have gone horribly wrong.
Well, he's come up with some clangers in the past, but he's also come up with some brilliant players. When he made his debut back at Wigan, all those years back. He's a big, powerful winger who likes to return the ball. You don't want to give him the ball so he can run onto it and then get a head of steam. Well, here's another good winger as well in Wayne Retty.
I was just going to say, he forms a three-man team. Dave Scott, Sean Ainscough and Wayne Retty. They're all big participants in the go forward, the early part of the six. They want that fast ruck speed to give Luke Blake and the rest of his teammates the front foot.
Kick deep, and Scott Turner gathers. Just celebrated his 28th birthday just the other day, Scott Turner. Here is another hugely experienced player, Ian Hardman, fullback for Featherstone.
Bill, great conditions. We were down the road at Leeds yesterday, and it was absolutely unbelievable. Torrential. The sun's out here in Batley. The pitch is firm, and you can look at both of the teams. They're completing the sets. They're getting to the kick. It's a real game of chess early on in this game.
Early days, and that ball's come loose. And Gareth Hugh, I think, felt that Batley had managed to pouch it, but he's given head and feet to Featherstone.
Well, it's a strong charge forward. And Kane Southernwood puts his body in front. He can't do much. It's Bradley Tagg. Is there a strip?
Good contact from Southernwood there.
He obviously is going to get a bit of attention. The halfbacks, Southernwood and Brambani. A lot of craft, a lot of skill, and they're no slouches as well when it comes to running the ball.
Featherstone get head and feet, and Craven. Tagg. Big, bustling centre, Brad Tagg. 22 years of age, one of the club's junior products. Here's Colton Roach.
Yeah, he was caught in two minds then. He was looking for the offload, but his teammate was too close.
Craven. Hardman, quick hands from Hardman, too quick, and there was no way Missy Talapapa was going to grab that one, and was down by his shoelaces.
Well, Brambani made a good decision to come in, shut that play down, and it meant that Missy Talapapa got a ball that was too low for him. Ian Hardman had to almost catch and pass at the same time. Good work from the halfback, Brambani.
That could be a good battle as well, Bill. On this left edge for Featherstone, Missy Talapapa up against Brambani. Former teammates at Sheffield.
Seen a lot of those two during the Sheffield Eagles exploits in the Championship. Now in opposition here in this cup tie. At a sunny Mount Pleasant. Breezy, the wind turbine at one end of the ground is going furiously. Gareth Hugh whistles for a penalty, first of the game, and it goes in favour of the Batley Bulldogs.
And it's a strong carry, just a little bit too high for Gareth Hughes liking. I think probably just setting a marker rather than it actually being a wild offence, but it gives possession and position to the Batley Bulldogs.
James Brown takes the first drive in for the Batley Bulldogs. Now here's big Sean Squires. A couple of big centres out there for the Bulldogs. And Batley with their first real threat on the Featherstone Rovers line.
Bit flat, Batley then, bit flat. That's why Keegan Hurst, he's having a look. I think he expected the ball to go behind him.
But they're right in front of those posts now, the Bulldogs. Walker to Bretherton, and Bretherton is all wrapped up. That's the last coming up, I should say. So Brambani kicks, the ball is loose. Now then, has Sean Squires stretched out to get that ball? It was a kick from Tom Brambani, caused chaos in Featherstone Rovers ranks, and Gareth Hughes reckons that the big centre, the former Shawcross amateur, has got the first try of this game, and there is a lot of him, Sean Squires. He's stretched out for that and beat everybody to it.
Well, he's a huge man, isn't he, playing on the edge? The kick's fabulous.
They all look inside to me.
Yeah, Sean Squires, he goes up, he challenges for that ball. The ball comes loose. Then, does he make contact?
He grabs the arm. Does he pull the ball forward? No. He pulls the arm. That's the reason the ball comes out. Can't see too much wrong with this try. Is this first points to the Bulldogs?
So I think this is a try. If you want to be really picky, when Fed catch the ball, is the contact in the air there before he hits the ground?
Is he tackled in mid-air?
You could look for that, yeah. You could look for that.
I think that's a contest rather than a tackle, but...
Well, because Sean Squires goes past it, does he go past it? And James Charles, the video referee, he'll make the decision, but does he tug his arm here? The contest's over there, he's gone past the ball. He doesn't touch the ground.
Would you give it or not give it? Did you not understand the question? Would you give it or not give it?
On the grounding, yeah, I think this is a try.
Well, it could be the first try of the season for big Sean Squires. And do you know what? In the build-up to this game, I was talking to John Keir, and he said, look out for Sean Squires. He's good on kicks. He certainly is. And that is something they've been working on, and it came off in a roundabout sort of route. And the Batley Bulldogs draw first blood in this cup tie.
Well, it all came from that penalty. Colton Roach, he was involved in that tackle, and from the following field position, it was well set up by the Bulldogs. A couple of players, one on the left, one on the right. It's in the front runner, and then Dominic Brambani thinks he sees a bit of space over the back. He pops the ball up to the big centre. And there we go, Sean Squires gets the first points. Can 4 become 6?
Patch Walker will try and goal this. He's wide of the targets. But Batley Bulldogs, to the satisfaction of their coach, John Keir, and the try scorer, Sean Squires, are ahead.
Well, all professional players have some pluses, and they have something in the kit bag. And that's exactly what Brambani's got. Absolutely brilliant. Perfect kick onto that man, Sean Squires, who's running onto that ball. He was committed in the air, he goes for the ball comes loose, and he's the first to score the try.
Craven with the restart then. So Batley ahead.
Good carry.
Well, they haven't got a great record against Featherstone. They haven't won a home meeting against Featherstone since April 2004.
Well, that was a heck of a carry from James Brown from the kick-off. Found an offload. I'm not sure his teammates expected it, but that's in his kit bag. He certainly wants to throw the speculator, James Brown.
Ainscough, weaving run from the winger. And then Brambani gets the kick away. He was outside the 40, but it's still a good kick. Over the head of Kyron Johnson, and it's a good chase by the Dogs.
Yeah, quality kick. An energetic chase as well. Just turning Featherstone around, just doing the basics very well. Not going for the big plays.
And that's a good set after points. I think you mentioned it in the Leeds Hull game last night. It's important that you get a good set after points and put the pressure back on your opposition. Batley Bulldogs did that perfectly.
Featherstone then looking to respond. Right in the middle of the field. Ball is hoisted high by Will Milner, and well claimed by Dave Scott.
Yeah, he did take that well. He looked up, and he was looking to shield the sun from his eyes as well. So not only did he have to contend with the Featherstone players who were chasing that high kick, he also had to contend with the sun as well.
Wayne Retty, really busy winger. They both are, Ainscough and Retty.
He started well, hasn't he, James Brown?
Former Queen's amateur James Brown began his career at Leeds. Here we go, another penalty over on that far side away from us. Going to have to keep the discipline, Featherstone. It's Bradley Tagg.
Well, that's his second penalty for the high tackle.
It was a full-blooded shot that ended up he was swinging around. But again, can't afford to give the Bulldogs, who are experts at playing up the hill, knowing that the Featherstone Rovers are going to have to play up the hill. It's amazing how many teams are beaten in the second half because the Bulldogs know how to play this pitch.
Brad Day then from that penalty. Hurst was the dummy runner, Brambani. Here is Pat Walker. About 25 metres out as Walker plays the ball, and down the short side they go with Bretherton. Featherstone under a bit of pressure. Once again, Brambani pulling the strings in the middle of the field.
That's brave play from the little half-back, ready to take the line, dragging the defenders, creating the space.
Bit of a disagreement once that ball had been played. Play continues. Featherstone aren't holding back.
It's a late shot from Spears then.
It's left somebody on the ground.
Kane Southernwood, he felt that.
Brambani kicks cross-field. Would it work last time? Could it do so again this time? No, it won't.
Well, his feet was in touch anyway, but
Featherstone it was.
I'm pretty confident his feet were in touch. Whether the ball has been judged to have gone forward from the little tip back, he's got a try, Gareth Hewitt.
I think the touch judge actually nodded to the referee then, Gareth Hewitt, and said, yeah,
well, I'd like to see it again before I commit 100%, but I'm 95% certain it's not a try.
It's not a try. You're going for not. You're pretty confident, Terry, that it is.
Well, I'm going with the touch judge here. Again, another superb kick, Bill. Superb kick from Brambani. The take, it's a clean take in the air, Wayne Retty. Look, he doesn't panic, he doesn't try and just get rid of it and get rid of it as quick as he can. Yeah, he's well in touch. What's the touch?
You should trust me a bit more, my friend. You should know by now.
Well, it was a good pick-up, a good offload, but a great effort here from Tally Papa. Yeah, clearly in touch, Barry. Told you.
This one won't count. Bretherton brushing the whitewash and denied, but the kick of Brambani once again causing problems for Featherstone Rovers.
Well, but they're warning signs, aren't they? Featherstone, Tally Papa keeping them in the game and restricting them just to that one try lead. But if you give that field position away to Brambani anywhere close to line, we saw it last night from when the Leeds played Hull FC. Both of those sides close to line, excellent kicking games. They were on the floor. These are in the air here today from Brambani, though.
And there'll be a technical aspect to that as well. The defenders who are going to have to cope with those kicks will have to spread a little bit, making sure they cover from touchline to touchline instead of compressing in.
Andy Bostock takes the ball forward. Craven now. Oof,
good tackle.
Thumping tackle down below us. You could hear the hit on Jamie Cording. He must have felt that one. Here's Talapapa. Talapapa, they're trying to get him into touch, but the Samoan stands his ground.
Strong, isn't he? Look at him.
Still fighting. And that was because Talapapa refused to be put onto his back. Defenders are trying to put the ball carrier on his back to slow that play the ball, then Wayne Retty, he can't untangle himself. Field position for Featherstone now.
Their first penalty of this game then, and a first opportunity really to put this Batley Bulldogs defence under some pressure in the danger zone in front of those posts. The Bulldogs back on their own try line as Craven. Across the field, it's good defence from the Bulldogs out wide there. Back up the middle with Ormondroyd. Takes some stopping and gets the pass away. And Batley,
they've held him up,
doing magnificently in the corner. Well, another schmozzle, I think, for James Child to try and untangle here. Gareth Hewitt.
No try. He just checked to see if the ball's been stolen.
Well, that's what he's looking for. He was held up, but then did they undo all the good work?
Well, Featherstone, through a series of offloads, really testing the defence. There we go, you see it plain as day. I think Bradley Tagg lets go of that ball because he's tackled around the neck. Will the high tackle be penalised?
Well, they'll definitely
and he's still
get
on the
penalty.
floor, Bradley Tagg, by the way. We're watching this, but in the background he's still on the floor. You see the pain and the anguish on the centre's face.
Well, Dave Scott who goes in. If Dave Scott's not there, they score the try. And I agree, Barry, there is a strip, but I'm sure that this will just be a penalty to Featherstone here.
Well, he felt that, did Brad Tagg. I think it was Brad Day who had a grip on him.
Bill, and you're just trying to get your body in front. You're just clutching everything to try and prevent the opposition from scoring a try. Like, does Dave Scott exactly know what he's doing? He's just clutching.
Well, Brad Tagg is back up on his feet. There's no try, but it will be a penalty to Featherstone Rovers for the nature of that tackle. John Sharp hoping that his team can capitalise on this now.
Yeah, it's been done for the grapple tackle. Brad there just round the neck. Let's say Dave Scott as well could have been penalised for stripping that ball. Need to ask some questions, get into good formation here. Featherstone, when they were down here in the previous set of 6, Bill, they were just all over the place. There was no real depth in the line.
Well, they saw them off once. Can they do so again? Tim Spears, Rovers captain, with the first drive towards the line.
Bill, that's the depth I'm on about. It wasn't deep enough.
Not quick enough either. There's a bit of a communication breakdown for Rovers at the play the ball there. And here goes Ormondroyd. Direct approach once again. And good defence from Batley, but Featherstone just not smooth and clicking at the moment. Now they're going to go wide. Here's Brad Tagg again, and that's the turnover. It was the last tackle, so that was a pretty unsatisfactory effort from Featherstone, really, given the territory they had.
Yeah, Bill, that was a real poor set of 6. If you're attacking close line, you've got to ask more options. I think there was 4 one-up carries from the ruck. Then they look to shift it wide, and they come up with a no play. They're not
John
asking
Davis,
those questions.
sorry, Tez, John Davis, the number 12, who's affecting that tackle. He's obviously a second row that can play at 9, and he got tackled twice with the ball. He's a terrific defender, come through the Castleford Academy system, giving good service to the Rovers now, but he's doing a job rather than it being his day trade.
Well, there's no Andy Ellis for Featherstone Rovers in this game. Or Matty Wildy. Bizarrely, no Andy Ellis, because he's cup-tied, because he played for Hull University.
Yeah.
He took a year out to do, I think, a teacher training course, and thought, I'll just have a game. I didn't anticipate coming back at this level, and now he's cup-tied, which must be a massive blow. Well, it is a massive blow.
Yeah, well, he'd hung up his boots, and talking to a couple of the Featherstone lads said he was absolutely on fire. So he is a huge loss for him. Speed from dummy half, a great defender, so yeah, he's a big loss.
Here's Kyron Johnson now. Lanky winger. He plays the ball. Just the one try so far. That's scored by Sean Squires for the Batley Bulldogs. Missy Talapapa grits his teeth, bounces off one, bounces off 2, says, where's the next one? Eventually they bring him down.
Yeah, straight up Brambani. That's the first man he got away from. And he got on the roll. Here's a roll.
Colton Roach, that's the 5th tackle. And Craven. Little chip kick, but too little. And straight into the arms of Wainwrighty. Brambani, I beg his pardon. Oh, that looked tight.
There we go, there's a short kick. Brambani pouches it. Again, you're going to see that combination. Scott Retty and Ainscourt working really hard to get the team out of this spot.
Ball comes back on the inside. It's come up for Kane Southernwood. That was fortunate.
Brad Day passed it back inside. It ricocheted off a teammate.
Ricocheted off a Featherstone hand, says Gareth Hewer. Back to 1.
Well, that's what you want, isn't it? A couple of little touches now going for Batley. They've been under a bit of pressure. Now they're up in Featherstone's half. Brambani's just talking constantly to his teammates here. He's probing, he's pointing the big lads where he wants them to run.
Luke Blake was tackled. Here's James Brown now. Walker. Brambani. Again, little kick from him, but well gathered by Scott Turner.
Too easy for the Featherstone winger there. Probably a little bit more height if he'd have had his time again, but I've noticed both sets of kickers, they're just stabbing at the ball, they're just conscious, especially when you're coming from right to left as we're looking. There's obviously that slope and that, I think it's 9.8 drop from one side to the other, and it's very likely to roll another 15-20 metres. What are you looking at me like that for, Bill? It's 9.8.
He's trying to say it's more or less 10 foot from one end of the pitch to the other.
9.8.
To its lowest point, Bill.
Maths and commentary.
No, Maths and McDermott don't mix.
Maths and me don't mix as the kick comes in. Deep kick straight into the arms of Dave Scott, this well, Scottish international, former Easterhouse player Easterhouse Panthers, who was spotted initially by Hull Kingston Rovers and is now at Batley and was Scotland's Player of the Year in 2015, Dave Scott.
But the last few sets of 6, the kicks when they've got to them, both coaches won't be happy. They've not found the space, they've not found the floor.
Sorry, Tez, that was an offload from the centre, Sean Squires. The referees spotted the knock-on, he's packing the scrum down, there you see. I'm not sure that offload's on, he's got 3 players in attendance, no clear space to pass to Luke Blake. And the knock-on, is it from Bradley Tagg? What's the ref saying? I think it looks like he's given Featherstone.
Ready, lads, come on, let's get the scrum down.
Yeah, head and feed to Featherstone Rovers.
Looked like Brad Tagg had got that ball.
Batley just being a little bit too adventurous. Missy Talapapa trying to go outside Brambani, but he stands his ground, makes the tackle. Here's Colton Roach now, former York City Knight.
Move! Go.
Craven. Straight up the middle. Comes Daryl Griffin off the bench. Bags of experience with him. Craven takes it himself, but he's all wrapped up by the Bulldogs defenders.
That was a
4
good ball
tackles
and all
gone.
tackle, wasn't it, by Cowlin?
Here is Griffin, has to just pause briefly to collect that ball. 5th tackle, 10 metres out. Craven, what will he come up this time? They'll run it instead, but with no great success. Well, no success.
Too hard, that pass to Jamie Corden. He's a devastating runner when he's in the clear, but that ball ricocheted off his chest. Again, we'll see it. Retty, Ainscough, Scott. Forwards getting on the back. There's the pass. I don't know whether Jamie Corden thought that was his ball or not. Easy possession handover, and that's one of the things that they'll focus on for this. Finishing the sets better. What like the Batley Bulldogs have been doing, a nice kick and putting pressure on their opponents.
Kane Sutherland plays the ball. Lee have fought their way back into this game, into the game in Toulouse. 8 points apiece. They've gone for a 40-20 meanwhile at Batley, and they've come up with it.
That's an
brilliant kick,
exceptional
isn't it?
kick, yeah.
That's an absolute quality kick.
Good direction, good distance.
When you're under pressure,
Pat Walker, it is with the boots.
That's a 30-20.
it actually lands in Featherstone's 20,
Yeah,
and then rolls over.
30-15.
Yeah,
It's not as catchy as
to come up with a
40-20,
play
is
like
it?
that, that's a big effort. You've got to back yourself in times like that. You're close to your try line. If you come up with a mistake, you kick the ball out on the full, all of a sudden,
Let's go, lads.
you're under
Heads in.
pressure.
Ian,
But
head
Walker
in.
knew exactly what he was doing.
Out.
40-20 kick, and Batley. Oof. Missy
Talapapa.
Talapapa has stolen the ball, and he's gone. It was a 40-20 kick. Batley were hoping to profit, but Missy Talapapa is going to score at the other end. Incredible.
Oh, he nearly got him, Wayne Retty.
He just manages to get there. And Gareth Ewer will want another verdict on this.
Got try.
There's nothing wrong with
Just check
this.
a one-on-one ball steal.
Yeah, it is
Just
a one-on-one.
catching his breath after that chase back down the field, because that caught everybody bar Missy Talapapa by surprise.
He jams in Talapapa. He comes up with a brilliant shot straight away. Look, sinks in, bang, get that into you. Danny Craven's not involved. There's a strip here. He doesn't go to ground.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Dave Scott, he doesn't go to ground. You can see the contact first of all. You can see he's trying to get to ground to play the ball. The strip, that's tremendous strength, that. And then he just pins his ears back.
Such an aggressive player, isn't he, Missy Talapapa? It's shoulder contact. The only question mark is the shoulder contact on the head.
Yeah,
I don't
legal.
believe
It's legal,
James Child is of the opinion otherwise.
But Retty almost got him.
He did.
And he almost dropped that ball, Missy Talapapa, but has he levelled the scores? He has. That is what you call an opportunist try from the former Sheffield Eagle, Missy Talapapa. His 6th of this 2016 season, and what a bizarre try it was.
Well, a ferocious piece of defence. He just makes his mind up, knows what he's doing, hits the player, pinches the ball, and races 70+ metres to put the ball down. He probably thinks it's all over until Wayne Retty punches him in the back.
But when you think that Batley were up the other end, they were just celebrating a 40-20 kick, rubbing their hands and thinking, right, we're in the position now. And there they go, they're up under their own posts.
Well, he's like a piece of steel, isn't he, Messi Talapapa? I just like the second effort after that contact, Bill.
Kyron Johnson has shanked that one. 4 points apiece.
So you come up with a decent shot, just have a little look at that, and he won't let Scott go to ground. That's what I like about it. He didn't just pat himself on the back. He gets the ball, he strips it, he knows it's a one-on-one, and then it's a foot race, but he's looking inside at Brambani. He's not expecting Retty to come. Oh, very close, very close.
That could have been embarrassing.
I've done a few of them myself, Bill.
Well, yeah, length of the field. I tell you what, if you'd been going down this hill at that speed, you would have stopped.
Straight over the fence.
There'd be a hole in that terrace. I think next stop, Dewsbury. Well, that's got the Featherstone Rovers support. Oh, Gareth Hewer has taken the tumble, hence the...
He can't handle the hill.
He was going backwards. The cheers of the Batley supporters. The offload finds Danny Craven, and Craven, well, had Hardman screaming up in support, but he couldn't get the pass away.
It's amazing what a try does to a side, isn't it? They're all running forward, they're all supporting the teammate.
Little grubber kick, the ball is loose, but they were offside. Oh no, touch judge is on. I think there was a shove.
They tackled Dave Scott. They tackled Dave Scott without it before he had the ball.
But a very positive set from Featherstone. Energised by that. 4 points. There you go, there's the collision. And Tim Spears, he thinks he's in for a try, but Sean Ainscough and Kyron Johnson, they collide. Okay. The referee, he's penalised Featherstone.
Toulouse back in front, 10 points to 8.
Liam, hold the 10. Go.
Remember that we've already had the shock of the cup for years. Oldham beating Hull Kingston
Tremendous
Rovers.
work by Oldham. Well done, Scott Naylor and the lads. Well done.
Newly promoted Oldham, just finding their feet in the championship, and then they go and do that. Talapapa's after it again.
He's gone for another strip again.
Well, it worked once. He's having another go. He's got his head down for about 10 metres when he makes that tackle.
And the difference here was the tackle was complete. So Brambani's been taken to ground. As he goes on the ground, the referee Garafew's called, yep, tackled, and he strips the ball.
Hold it, get the ball off, time off.
Another penalty for Batley then.
Time on.
Here's Tom Lillycrop.
John, move, double with me.
About 20 metres out they are.
Hold, go.
Sorry, Bill, there's not many low-risk plays by these sides, are there?
Bretherton plays the ball. That's
back to one, is it?
There's a Featherstone hand in there. Referee Gareth Hewer has wiped the tackle count clean.
Yeah, it's Messi Talapapa who makes a play for that.
James Brown offloads the ball. I told you, he's not afraid to throw that pass.
I think there's maybe a clash of heads there. I'm not sure.
There's James Brown. Here comes the offload. Where's the collision? Or is it? Ooh.
Is it his leg?
Is it his leg? Yeah, it looks like his knee hyperextends.
It's his right leg as he goes to make a play. Goes to kick the ball. And you can just see as he kicks the ball.
Ow.
Oh,
he's not
cowling.
Yeah, he's not blessed with the biggest of quads anyway. And that looks very painful.
We've got to make sure we get back on side here because you've been cold, so I've got to look to see where I am and respond to these 10 metres.
You've got to be brave, haven't you, diving down. Any loose ball that's on the ground, cowling. Well, he knows that there's going to be some pressure. He knows that maybe a boot that's going to be coming in for that ball, and as well as Messi Talapapa coming over the top.
held and the ball had gone.
Scott Turner on his feet, but
I'd be surprised if
bit
he
wobbly.
plays on. As I say, I think he's hyperextended that. Oh, he's got the thumbs up.
Yeah. On the line, Missy!
Well, it's a good job you're not the physio, Barry.
know.
You would have subbed him.
I know. I think you'd beat him in a race at the minute.
It's Tom Lillycrop again.
Fast! Move, Darryl!
Sent off at London last week, Lillycrop, but that was in the Championship. This is the Challenge Cup, and here comes Ainscough, and Ainscough has got that ball down. And it's going to be, I think, another video ref call. Well, the Batley Bulldogs players are celebrating, Ainscough is celebrating,
Touching the ground in, please.
but Gareth Ewer wants James Child, a very busy man, to have a look at this one as well.
Well, again, going from one side of the pitch to the other, but what a brilliant ball to Sean Ainscough. Does he get this ball down, or has Johnson done enough? Yeah, I think he's on the white line. Yeah, he's out of the field of play. Well, his right arm's touching the white line.
That's a great one-on-one tackle
From Johnson, brilliant.
Yeah, he collects Sean Ainscough, who's a little powerful thing. There's an initial bump off, but he does enough to stop Ainscough having a clean put down of the ball. He can't bring it away from his body. Does he lose control? Oh. Now then, that angle tells a different story.
Well, look at the knee, first of all. Where's the knee? The right knee, that's okay. No, it's touching the white line.
I'm going to go no try. My initial thought were no try. Good piece of defence from Featherstone, but the more you watch it...
Do you know, it gives himself a chance to Ainscough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his right knee's in touch. Great work from Johnson to get underneath. Here we go. Yeah, he's in touch for me, Bill.
Yeah, that's the angle, isn't it?
Fifth video referee decision of the game, and we haven't even got to the half-hour mark yet. And I think the Featherstone players convinced that it's no try, and it is. And you've got to compliment Kyron Johnson on the tackle. There's not a lot of him. He's a really wiry winger.
Yeah, well, up against one of the smallest wingers, and maybe the stockiest wingers in the Championship, in Sean Ainscough. So Featherstone here, they'll get the tap on the 20.
And it's Johnson again. That was Johnson's tackle, and Johnson with the restart.
Two movement! 10 metres, Alex, wait.
Well, this is where Featherstone need to offer themselves. Bostock with the ball. Just tuck the ball under your wing, son. Take it forward. That's what John Sharp was saying. Look at that. An extra 5 metres after contact.
Go.
Colton Roach.
Bill, been very impressed with him in the opening 28 minutes.
Side, wait for it, wait.
Every carry
Go.
is that he's been shot out of a cannon.
5, move! Alex Brotherton, 10 metres. Go.
Thackeray is on the field.
Well, look at Scott Turner on the left wing for Featherstone. He can't keep up with play.
Fast.
Never mind catch the ball and have a go at scoring a try.
Wait.
Dave Scott makes sure he doesn't let that one slip from his grasp.
Second. Move. Hold the 10. Ref on 3. Wait.
Coming up to the half-hour mark here, we've had 5 video ref decisions. One of them involving this guy, Sean Ainscough, who's tackled by Darryl Griffin. That'll be a penalty. Griffin just using all his expertise to try and get another second or so there, but he's rumbled by the ref.
Yeah, well, all his expertise to give a penalty away on the third play. So maybe only one more tackle that they had to contend with, and then Batley would have been, let's get out of here, let's kick the ball.
2 balls on the pitch. Good to see Anthony Thackeray back in action for Featherstone Rovers. He's out there on the field, having come off the bench because he sustained a horrendous mouth injury in the cup tie against London. Broke his palate, split it.
Bill, I saw a picture of it.
Oh, you would have seen a
the
picture.
CEO, and it looked absolutely terrible.
You couldn't show it on TV. Horrendous.
Yeah, well, he had hospital in London, then hospital back in Yorkshire, and he's back in action.
Was it only 4 weeks ago, was it?
4.
4 weeks ago today?
Involved in the tackle there, in fact. Here is Walker. Batley denied a few moments ago when Sean Ainscough was in at the corner, or looked like he was in at the corner. Now they go to air, and Johnson is under pressure again. That ball's bobbled up, and Featherstone have managed to get hold of it at the second attempt.
Scott Turner, he's the first person to have a crack at it. Goes back into the hands of a Featherstone play. He's the ball carrier at the minute, having to work hard here, Featherstone.
High tackle, claim the Featherstone fans, but Missy Talapapa just ricocheted off it. He's like a pinball, he's just banging against Batley defenders, and he gets the penalty.
Yeah, Bill, he knew that they were under pressure. They were trapped in the right-hand corner. He's the left-hand centre, so he's come from one side of the pitch to the other to use his speed, but not also his speed, his strength as well, and his ability to beat a defender. As soon as he beats a defender, he spins out of one tackle, and then he's got some urgency to try and get up and win his side a penalty, or earn his side a penalty.
So Featherstone having the better of things at the moment. That Missy Talapapa try has certainly raised their spirits. Here's Daryl Griffin now. He's 34 years of age now. Now Luke Cooper. Just about 10 metres out, Featherstone. Thackeray. Craven fancies it himself.
Hands out. Hold the line. Wait. Go.
Craven, short ball from him. Batley. 5 of them in there to make the tackle. That's the 5th tackle.
On your feet. Hold.
There is Anthony Thackeray wearing 7. Serves the ball up, and the ball ends up in touch. They were looking for Scott Turner, who is still hobbling after that incident at the other end of the field. It obviously just trying to get him to half-time, but he wasn't able to be involved there.
Well, Scott Turner, he's struggling, but I'll tell you somebody who isn't struggling, that's Batley. When they're defending, especially down this end of the pitch, Missy Talapapa's long-range try, when they go into the changing rooms at half-time, I suspect they'll take that, because whenever they've been tested down in this bottom corner, they've passed that test.
Release. Darryl, hold these 10 metres, hold. Go.
4 points apiece. Batley coming up the hill here at Mount Pleasant, or the Foxes Biscuit Stadium, to give it its commercial title. Just approaching the halfway line. Brambani kicks deep, and Turner is hobbling back towards his own dead ball line.
Well, just too much on that kick from Brambani. Been excellent in this first half with his kicking game. But again, Bill, all it does, it just keeps turning these Featherstone forwards around. They've got to jog back up the hill, get behind the ball.
I think Featherstone are going to make that change shortly. It might be Liam Blockley that comes in and plays on the flanks and on the fringes. The Featherstone physio and trainer, Billy Mallinson, is saying, get off!
And that would have been about the sum total of it, wouldn't it, Billy?
There'd have been another couple of words in there, but urgent that they get him off, because they're weak on that edge at the minute.
Former Hull Kingston Rovers conditioner Billy Mallinson now working as part of John Sharp's Featherstone Rovers team. Very direct approach. Here's Griffin. Shaped to pass wide, then a short ball. Finds Bostock.
Ali, come on. Let's go.
Bostock plays it. And Will Milner puts a good kick in. Here is Ainscough. Ainscough, you could hear the tiles squealing there, couldn't you, as he went round that corner?
Well, they're trying to give him the ball, and do you know what? When they kick to the right-hand side, and if the full-back always gets it, Dave Scott, Sean Ainscough always wraps round as quick as he can, so he can offer support to his teammate.
And here's the other wingman.
They work in tandem. You'll find that in games in rugby league. First it'll be one winger, then it'll be the other winger, then maybe the full-back. As we see, another good shot here from Featherstone.
Luke Cooper involved there. Big tackle on Tom Lillycrop. That's the 5th. Featherstone doing well here. And it's with Brambani. Straight into the arms of Kyron Johnson.
Tough to find space then. Everyone had dropped back who needed to drop back for Featherstone. So even if Brambani does get a decent kick away, it's going to be difficult to find that space.
Second move.
Here's Ian Hardman, got 5 tries in the win at London in round 4, Hardman.
3 short, 10 metres.
But just 2 tries in this game so far, 1 apiece. Here's Cooper.
Hands out. We have Tom. Go. Keep working on the
Thackeray,
take, Tom.
Jamie Cording.
5. Movement.
Cording, very experienced player, another one in this Featherstone Rovers side. High kick. Ainscough underneath it. And then trying to return. What's he doing? What's he doing?
Well, I was just about to say, good catch, good carry. Looking for the quick play of the ball, but
Bill, that's one of those brain explosions that we talked about a bit ago. Does everything right. He gets the ball, he was under pressure, he went backwards, then he comes forward, then he goes into contact, throws the ball away, but it just goes straight up in the air. It doesn't even go to a teammate.
They were lucky to get away with that. This is...
wow.
That could have gone horribly wrong.
That
In the end,
reminded
they've
me of one of Carney's offloads.
Toulouse
ball.
have beaten the Lee Centurions 10 points to 8, so another upset, not maybe on the scale of Oldham's against Hull Kingston Rovers, and Toulouse have been formidable so far in League One this season, I think averaging something like 57 points a game so far, and on home soil they're hard to beat, as Lee have discovered. Meanwhile, referee has given head and feed to Batley, I think, at this
it
scrum.
was a strip, because the ball goes forward from Bostock. When he strips that ball, it was a one-on-one, so it's no penalty. But because when he reefs the ball away, it goes forward. That's the reason why Batley have got the head and feed. A day full of upsets here, Bill.
Let's be quicker here at the scrum.
Witness will just be double-checking they've got all the
Come on to your feet.
all the preparation right for their game against Rochdale.
Salford Hunslet, of course, over at Hunslet.
Can't take anything for granted. Kane Sutherwood, big ball out wide to the try scorer for Batley so far, Sean Squires, but he's cut down. Here goes Ainscough. Loves to take him on, Sean Ainscough. Across the field with Kane Sutherwood now, but he gets the pass away to Brambani, who kicks into the corner. Well dealt with by Liam Blockley.
Jump from the field of play. Pouch that ball, neutralise the threat, but a bit more defending to do. There's the catch, jumps, Wayne Retty. He knows if Wayne Retty has half a chance, he'll catch and put this down. But Brambani again using the kick to the corner.
Batley playing into the sun.
Well, another set of 6 here, Bill.
Stay behind.
Danny Craven, well, just not rushing to take this kick. The kick's long, just goes over halfway here.
Here's Adam Gledhill.
First move. He's a line. Let's wait. Wait. Go. Second. Move 2.
2 tackles gone.
Go.
Half time approaching. Gledhill once more.
Third.
Well, they've got the spacings right, Featherstone. They've been under pressure in this game, in similar position.
Southernwood, oh, nice smuggled pass, finds Brambani.
4.
Oh, they look good in contact. They look very strong, Featherstone.
Here's Bretherton now.
5. Release. Hold the line, Darryl. Go.
Alistair Leake. Brambani beats the first challenge, gets the pass away to Tom Lillycrop, and then Southernwood. They like that kick, but the ball's gone forwards.
Ball's been knocked forward off Batley.
Yeah, just looking to pack that ball up, Brad Day.
Wait, Tim.
Another great kick
Yeah, Tom.
from Batley. Southernwood on that occasion, to this left edge, kicking it to Squires, who packed it back inside. Day just can't just keep the ball up.
It's good.
Otherwise, that could have been another try again. There's another strong carry from Missy Talapapa.
And Talapapa has got the penalty. Belated whistle from Gareth Ewer there. Took a look at that one.
You know, I just love the effort of this lad. Every time he gets the ball, he runs as hard as he can. He might not be the biggest, but he uses speed to generate that momentum going forward, which wins that collision.
So can Featherstone Rovers in the closing seconds of the first half here at Batley get their noses in front. Here's Bostock. Bostock looking to smuggle that pass out, but he's wrapped up by the Batley's defenders, and he gets the penalty. Will they go for two?
Surely.
Thackeray's first reaction was to say, we'll go for the two, and that surely is the decision.
Yeah, got to go for 2 points. Strip the ball. Couple of good strong carries, but again, if I was John Sharp, and what I would be saying to Featherstone at half-time, you need more depth, lads. You're not giving yourself a chance, because I can't see along the line to who my option is, who am I going to pass the ball to. I talked about before about the Super League and what they do with the attacking shape that most teams seem to adopt. Well, Featherstone, they seem to be playing too flat, like a defensive line, to give the halfbacks an option. So like when Milner and Craven are going across the line, they're looking to hit somebody out of the back, which will pull a Batley defender out the line.
Okay.
Now Kyron Johnson with this penalty attempt. It'll be the last kick of this first 40 minutes to try and put Featherstone Rovers in front. And this one is on target, straight between the uprights. And John Sharp's men take a narrow lead after a real tussle in the first 40 minutes. John Keir's team took a lead. Missy Talapapa's opportunism brought the scores level, and then that penalty from Kyron Johnson has given Featherstone a 6-4 advantage.
Yeah, thanks very much, Barry, Terry and Bill. They met in round 2 of the championship at the home of the Featherstone Rovers, and it was the home side that were victorious. 14 points to 12, separated by a Kyle Briggs penalty. At half-time here in the 5th round of the Challenge Cup, it's a late Kyron Johnson penalty that has the Featherstone Rovers 2 points in front. It's half-time in the 5th round Ladbrokes Challenge Cup tie between the Batley Bulldogs and the Featherstone Rovers, and a late Johnson penalty has given Featherstone a 2-point lead. It was Barry McDermott. Batley Bulldogs first on the scoreboard, and have got off to the brightest of starts.
Well, the Batley Bulldogs, as you'd expect, know how to play this pitch, and the feature for me in the first 40 minutes has been the kicking game from Dominic Brambani. It was Sean Squires who was the first to profit from that. They've tried it a couple of times. Here's one of the no tries. Does incredibly well to find some space over on the right side, but very committed defence from Featherstone.
Yeah, great defence from Missy Talopapa, and a man who will become relevant very shortly as well. We see Featherstone again in attack. And Batley, look, had the answers in defence, Barry, any time they came close to their line.
Been very impressed with Batley. Whenever they've had to defend their own line, they've got enough bodies in front. There you see the no try. It's Bradley Tagg who can't get the ball down. He's pushed back again by that committed Batley defence.
Okay, massive Pat Walker 40-20, scrum to Batley. It's all looking good for the home side. People predicting a try here in the commentary box.
Well, Missy Talapapa, everything he does has aggression written all over it. Not only does he make the hit, he refuses to let the Batley player go to ground, and he gets his pockets picked, and there's fully 70 metres there before he takes the ball off Danny Cowlin for him to go out. When Retty nearly gets him though.
Well, it's been close between these sides this season so far. Sean Ainscough, who's done what we'd expect from Sean Ainscough at the other end of the field. He comes very close here, Barry. Video referee judging no try.
I think Sean Ainscough even expected to score that try. He muscled up, and again, committed defence from Featherstone.
Okay, this is the penalty conceded by Batley. Johnson kicks it after the final whistle, and it is Featherstone in front. You made a comment in the commentary, Barry, during that first half, that you felt that the Batley Bulldogs would be in the ascendancy. This was before that late penalty, because of how comfortable they look defending their line.
They don't look like they're panicking. Whenever they haven't got the ball, they're enjoying defence. They're enjoying collecting, dealing with that big pack that Featherstone have got. Featherstone haven't helped themselves. They give too many penalties away. I'm sure John Sharp is saying, look lads, we've got to give ourselves a chance. Whenever we have to defend, make sure we're nice, clean and crisp while we're defending.
Okay, with the sun in my eyes, I can barely see that beautiful haircut you've got with you today. Barry, Featherstone have had the slope, they've had the sun behind them. It's been in the eyes of the Batley players that will go against Featherstone in this second half. Is 2 points enough of a lead in this game?
Well, I think that Batley have fully deserved where they are on this scoreboard. They perhaps could have gone a little bit more, a couple of tries. I think they're experts at playing this pitch. We've said that a number of times. And fitness and knowing how to handle, knowing when to coast, knowing to exert some energy, that'll be key for them. I'd give the first quarter to Batley. I'd give the first 10 minutes of the second quarter to Featherstone. But again, I think Batley are in pole position.
Okay, well, it is the Featherstone Rovers who lead at half-time. A place in the 6th round of the Challenge Cup is up for grabs. Well, last night, Dewsbury and Wakefield progressed at the expense of York and Sheffield. And what about the two results today? Oldham have beaten Hull Kingston Rovers 36 points to 22, and Toulouse, fresh from the final whistle over in France, have beaten Lee Centurions, the leaders of the championship, 10 points to 8. Okay, everything ahead of us here at Batley. An exciting 40 minutes in prospect. And after the inspirational performances earlier today of Toulouse and Oldham, the fans of Batley and Featherstone will both be dreaming of, well, further progression in this most prestigious of competitions. Okay, more live Super League coming up for you next week. Wigan against Huddersfield, 7:30 p.m. Sky Sports 3. St Helens against Leeds Rhinos. They got their season back on track with a win over Hull, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 2. And then the Catalan Dragons against Salford will be 4:55 p.m. on Sky Sports 2. Okay, it's the 5th round of the Challenge Cup, half-time. Featherstone lead 6 points to 4. Gareth Hewitt, the referee, standing by to kick it off. Your commentary team, Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor, and over to you first, Bill Arthur.
And over to the Batley Bulldogs, getting the second half underway through Dom Brambani. And Featherstone coming up the hill. And Darryl Griffin getting first charge at the Batley Bulldogs line. So can Featherstone build on that narrow lead they've got, given to them by that Kyron Johnson penalty just before, well, bang on half-time in actual fact. And can Featherstone join Toulouse, who are already through, having beaten Lee Centurions 10-8 earlier on this afternoon in France, and Oldham, who beat Hull Kingston Rovers. What a story that is for Scott Naylor's team. What a story it is for the Roughheads. Here's Danny Craven, who's sort of club Widnes. He's on loan from Widnes, and Widnes will be playing Rochdale in the Cup on Sunday. Meanwhile, that's great work from Featherstone, and Ainsto's going in the wrong direction.
And again, it was a clever kick from Danny Craven. He comes to the short side, he drags the full back over. There's a mistake. You see, from that clever kick, Sean Ainscough.
He's trying to play the ball as quick as he can. Hasn't got his centre of balance quite correct. There's nobody around him. Can't argue with that. Good call from Gareth Hewitt.
But when he gets in, he's trying to push Spears off, isn't he? As he loses Spears, he then falls over. He loses his feet.
Head and feed then to Featherstone Rovers. 20 metres out. Can they capitalise on that error? Here is Ian Hardman, and they're attacking that end where the Featherstone supporters have gathered. They've come here in a convoy of coaches. They call that the wind turbine then. There's a great big wind turbine behind that stand. Here they come. John Davis. Thackeray across the field. Well, it was fortunate that reached Craven.
Bill again not standing deep enough. There's only one option to pass to.
Here's Luke Cooper. Cooper bounces off one, gets a pass away, and it's a good job that Retty was able to make the tackle. No, he's got the ball back to Cooper, and that's been snaffled. Picked up.
Tremendous defence again from Batley. I have to commend them. Every time they've had a test, they've passed it. Doesn't he look full of energy, Luke Cooper? He finds an offload, stays involved, and again, it's time to work away from the line, use that set formula of Ainscough, Retty, Scott.
Here is Ainscough looking to atone, and he could well atone here. It's a great run. He had support, and Cooper stands with his arms out wide, saying, why didn't you give me the ball?
Well, Ian Hardman then, the break from Sean Ainscourt was absolutely quality, the little powerhouse that he is.
You have to be a good player to beat Ian Hardman at that last line of defence. He's very good, very skilled at that.
Do you know, they've just missed 3 tackles in the first half. That's the first break as well that Batley have made in this game.
First move! Hold the goal line.
Batley.
Go.
Coming down the hill then. Sean
Second
Squires
Hold, wait, go.
plays the ball. Gledhill, legs driving, but he's met
Ian Hardman on the goal line.
by Griffin
Hold,
and
then
Bostock
trap.
and Thackeray making the tackle there. Leak. Batley go wide now. Featherstone
Release.
defending in
Hold.
numbers.
Hold.
Jamie Cording in there and Danny Craven. Here's Brambani now.
5 move. Hold Andy, wait for
Craven.
foot, wait.
Barking out the orders to get his defenders in line. Brambani puts the kick in and it's snaffled. The Batley supporters thinking there was a knock on there by Hardman. Nothing doing from Gareth Ewer.
Well, he was in the perfect position, Gareth Ewan. He's handled this match really well. He was under pressure, Brambani, gets the kick in, and Ian Hardman, just as he did when he collected Sean Ainscourt after the break,
Third move.
he picks up the ball and snuffles out the threat.
Bags of experience, Ian Hardman, from his days at St Helens. So Featherstone Rovers withstand that first assault on their line. Let's get the news from the dressing rooms at half-time. Angela Powers is downstairs.
Thanks, Bill. Talking to John Key, he says the first half was a very close, very tight, very even Stevens sort of game, but he wants his team to stay fully committed. He says they were in the first half, carry on like that, and he's confident if they do that, then they'll get the win in the end. He thought the Talapapa try was a bit questionable. He wants to look at that after the game and double-check the video there. But Scott Turner, we saw limp off. He went off on crutches at half-time into the tunnels. It seemed likely he'd play again after hyperextending his leg. John Chop's point of view, they've given away 5 penalties, he said, when they had Batley under pressure. So that's given the opposition breathing space. He wants to cut those out, get the basics right, cut out the small errors, and in the end, they'll be costly if they carry on playing like that. So he wants them to tighten up on those errors.
Well, they're using the direct approach now. The Batley Bulldogs, it's with big James Harrison, son of Carl. And that kick is hoisted out wide. Ball's batted down. It's still on the last, says the referee. Ainscourt flicks it back in field, that one. Again, kicked across field to the other wing. And very well claimed in the end by...
Was it Blockley?
It was Luke Blockley, yeah. Liam Blockley, beg his pardon out there.
Yeah, that was a brilliant take, that, wasn't it, Bill? The offloading game from Batley close to the line again. Going up into the sky, Wayne Retty challenging him. Well, a tough few tackles here now. Darryl Griffin, the man with all the experience, knows what it takes to win big games. Get to the ground as quick as you can, give some of your teammates something to play off.
Here's Luke Cooper. Takes Featherstone Rovers up to the 40-metre line, but that's the 5th tackle.
And the 40.
And it's inside the 40.
Okay.
But across comes Dave Scott to gather the ball. And then Scott is gathered.
Bill, a good couple of runs though. First of all from Griffin, then from Cooper. Ball for the players landing on the front, which allows them to kick that ball long. Gives them something to play off. I've been very impressed with this lad. Lillycrop, the number 18.
He does run strong.
It's powerful.
Former Wakefield and Bradford junior as well, so he's used to these West Yorkshire conditions and derbies, and he won't give up. I'll tell you, he runs hard all day.
Known as Cropper to his teammates in honour of Roy Cropper. Coronation Street fans.
20.
A kick too deep, and Karen Johnson legs it back to the 20 to restart.
Yeah, well, Darryl Griffin just couldn't get behind the 20 mark there. Referee Gareth Hughes saying, no, you've got to all get behind the line. And again, Cooper offering himself.
First move.
Just little efforts then, Bill, that I like.
Had a spell in Australia with the Thirlmere Roosters in New South Wales, Luke Cooper. He's getting experience on the other side of the globe. The referee had called held, so Missy Talapapa will play the ball again. Here is Daryl Griffin. Griffin onto Will Milner. So Warrington Wolves Academy player Will Milner.
Hold. Go. Okay.
John Davis. Batley felt there had been a little nudge there
Alistair,
to play the ball.
Hold. Go.
Here is Milner. Back up the middle comes Griffin.
500 release.
That's the 5th tackle. Then Craven. Nice kick. Just finds some greenery before the whitewash.
Well, that's when you need to step up to the mark and take control, isn't it? When you're coming towards the back end of the set. You've got Anthony Thackeray on there. You've also got the man who kicked the ball in Danny Craven. It's a big part of his game, that his kicking game, whether it be close to the line, high in the air, or tactical kicks like that, just knocking the ball out of play. And John Sharp, well, they'll be happy with the way his side have been playing.
John Sharp is jumping in a car after this game and heading for Hull to join the 1991 Premiership final reunion dinner. And it should be a great night. And there's his opposite number, John Keir. But at that dinner will be Carl Harrison and his brother Paul, who is the chief executive here at the Batley Club. So they'll be hoping we don't go to Golden Point, because there's some serious reunioning to be done in Hull tonight for the team that won that 1991 final, when Greg Mackey, the late Greg Mackey, was man of the match, and they're hoping that his widow will be guest of honour at that dinner. Should be a big night. Gareth Heward just having some running repairs done to his sound system.
He's controlled this game well, hasn't he, Gareth Heward? There was a couple of calls in the first half that had to go upstairs to the video referee, James Child. The Featherstone fans now trying to inspire their team now right in front of the Batley sticks.
Wait a minute, Doc. Not in.
Clock restarts, but scrum's a bit of a mess. Batley head and feed. 6-4, Featherstone Rovers lead here. Really feisty cup tie, this. Is Wayne Retty. Thackeray, last game he played in, he ended up in hospital, and there he is flinging himself into a tackle like that.
Well, if you say that you're fit, you've got to do that, haven't you? The way that Wayne Retty running tonight, he just picked Thackeray out, and there was only going to be one winner in his eyes. But Thackeray, fair play to him, stood his ground and come up with that tackle.
10 metres. Go.
Here come Batley, approaching the halfway line.
Wait. Go. Okay.
The kick straight into the arms of Kyron Johnson.
He doesn't get the kick away where he wants it, because he was put under pressure from the inside. Sure, it was from the man who was at the ruck, who'd been involved in the tackle. So pressuring from the inside, coming up with some big defensive displays. Featherstone. It's a good old tussle, though.
Certainly is, just over the halfway line. Cording will play the ball, could have had a penalty there. Here's Daryl Griffin once more. Once an Oxford Cavalier, now a Featherstone Rover. Griffin plays that ball. Cording, like Griffin, Super League experienced. As Craven hoists that kick. Oh, no, it was taken out, was Dave Scott.
John Davis. As you see, yeah, when he holds his arm up, that's almost like the gun sights, that trying to figure out where the ball is. And it's probably a fraction of a second too early. There you go. Oh, right in the ribs.
Do you know, it's only a split second, and it's a fine margin. It's a fine margin to just holding off and timing your run, because if you just let him, catch that ball, you can still come up with that tackle that's going to have the same effect.
Just a penalty.
It is about discipline, and it's very hard to read that.
And it hurt Dave Scott as well. He's not got back up yet. I talked before the game, in the first opening 10 minutes about John Davis and how committed he is. He loves defending. Small in stature, well, but huge in his impact.
That's the referee's view. You've got to say Dave Scott has not got a chance to react there. His eyes are, he's looking up into the sky where that ball is.
Yeah, Bill, it is a split second though. He is looking up, he's trying to catch the ball. That's his job as a fullback. Your job then as a defender is to go up there and put pressure. But you've got to make sure that when you do put that tackle in, you've got to make sure that he's got the ball.
I'm saying, is it more than a penalty?
No, I just think it's a penalty.
So
It's just a penalty. There was no contact with the head. It was a shot that he didn't have the ball, but...
He's in there again, John Davis.
Well, it's certainly inspired him to come up with something else, hasn't it?
Featherstone having to defend now as Ainscough tries to go on the outside. He's in touch. Couldn't get the kick back in field before he went out of play.
Sean Ainscough, he gets the ball off his centre, probably doesn't do enough the centre for me, doesn't provide any space or any chance. And Sean Ainscogh's always fighting a losing battle. Good defensive effort again. Scott, Turner,
get yourself calmed down.
and Sean Ainscough, they've had a couple of collisions. Nice little battle from them two.
Out. It's out. Leave it. The ball's still in. No,
Referee saying that...
Well, he did say it was... I thought I heard him say it was out.
No, the ball's still in.
Now he's saying it's still in.
I think we're having the scrum again. I'm not sure. There's a lot of arm waving going on there, like a
I think they're
air traffic
confused.
controller.
Yeah, they're confused, both.
Well, what Featherstone thought that because the ball was still in and Brad Day's gone down for the ball while it's still in the scrum, it should have been a penalty to them.
First, move! Wait, go.
There's the scrum feed.
You
It's
see him
held
holding
in,
it, and because it's in there, they're asking for the penalty.
But I
Still
thought
locked
I
in.
heard the referee say it's out. Anyway, he's got it right. He's got it right. Good play from Featherstone.
Well, here come Featherstone now with Andy Bostock. Once a Dewsbury player, now in his 6th season at Featherstone. That kick is another good one. And again, just finding the right side of the line from Danny Craven, and he gets a congratulatory handshake from Missy Talapapa.
Lovely kick from Danny Craven. Nice left-footed dab over the sideline. He'll slow the game down. You see on the graphic there, his 8th kick. Knows when to kick, where to kick, how to kick. A big asset for the Featherstone Rovers this year.
They're managing this game well, Featherstone Rovers. They've just got this slender 2-point lead.
That's about building pressure, isn't it, Bill? Just keep turning the opposition round, and sometimes it really does hurt you. And another strong carry from Retty, the offload. Sometimes you've got to think, is that offload on? Just because I get my arm free, do I need to pass the ball?
You've moved to the side.
Here's Alistair Leake. Leake manages to get the pass away. It's with Pat Walker now. Up to the halfway line, 3 tackles gone for the Batley Bulldogs. In goes...
There's your man, Lillycrop.
Tom Lillycrop, yeah.
I mean, it's his metres after contact. That's you have to muscle up on him, or he can make you look foolish and you fall off the tackle. A nice kick from Batley, a bit too far. Brambani, he's not happy with it. I think he expected Hardman to pick that up and have a go.
Hardman then races up to the 20 to restart.
Go.
So Batley haven't really managed to put Featherstone under too much pressure so far in this second half.
Seville, the only break that they've made was when Sean Ainscogh's gone through. The kicking game was what was really hurting them, but to get that kicking game to where they want, they need that field position close to the line.
Featherstone are running up the hill. I'm sure Batley are talking about patience. We don't have to break them down now. There's 2 points difference. Be patient, let Featherstone expend some energy, and when they start to tire, in the last 10 minutes, there's our chance.
Bostock is upended. Good tackle by Tom Lillycrop. High kick, Ainscough. Solid underneath that one. And is then collared by Brad Tagg.
They can't put him down, can they? There you go. He's down now. Tim Spears. That's the reward. The person behind that play the ball. He has markers that aren't set and a chance at doing something.
Well, you can see what they're doing when they go into the tackle. Featherstone, they're catching the play, they're trying to hold him up, they're not allowing him to go to ground. See, wrapping the ball up, which means it's going to be slow play of the ball. The numbers at the ruck have got to peel off and get set.
Leake takes them on himself. Alistair Leake, a Cumbrian.
John Davis, 10 metres. Hold. Go.
That ball has Brambani stretching, but he still manages to collect and get the kick away, but it's way too strong, that one. He was under pressure.
Yeah, he was. It was Anthony Thackeray that came out. You could see him standing to the right-hand side of Gareth Hewer. He thought he was offside, but he knew that Brambani was getting the ball. He didn't want him to place it where he wanted it. That's been the danger. That was the difference in the first half. Brambani's kicking game.
Here is big Jack Ormondroyd.
Go.
Now Jamie Cording.
Through release. We are Keegan, hold the line. Hold. Go.
Thackeray, here's John Davis. Milner now coming across the field, and Hardman is well tackled.
Move the legs. Wait.
Bretherton it was who brought him down.
Yeah, he just couldn't set Johnson free here. There's Davis.
John Davis keeping it alive, and eventually Danny Craven runs out of options.
Keeping it alive but not going anywhere, and Danny Craven was trapped playing that ball, so it needs to be Anthony Thackeray that kicks it.
Ainscough traps it, Dave Scott brings it forward.
Release. Anthony, come on.
There goes Sean Ainscough.
John,
No,
get
passes
square.
the ball.
Gonna get the marker square.
This is lively from the Batley Bulldogs.
Well, the old little run around trying to pull one of the defenders out the line, trying to isolate him. Again going short side.
It looks like they're trying to get at Anthony Thackeray over on Featherstone's right. He's certainly doing a lot of defending.
Now they're in the middle of the field with Keegan Hurst, the captain. Back on the field, Hurst. Leake scampering forward, and Batley building up a bit of pace now with Brambani. Brambani back on the inside. And James Harrison it is. James Harrison, son of the Rhino, gets his first try of the season for John Keir's team. And that was a lightning attack from the Batley Bulldogs. Brambani slicing through, and finishing it off was the 19-year-old former Bradford Bulls Academy player, James Harrison. Dad Carr will be pleased with that.
There was a couple of players that were caught on the ground for Featherstone, which meant that the Featherstone players who were defending out wide had to come across. They were trying to close the player down, but James Harrison coming up with that try again. Just have a little look at the Featherstone players that shoot in, make the wrong decision. Brambani spots that gap. It's a 3-on-2 out wide. He passes the ball straight inside to the huge figure of James Harrison as soon as he's through this gap.
Well, the impressive part for me is he actually collides with one of the Featherstone players, then he has to get back on his bike, and a nice confident right foot step, and gets under the black dot. Tremendous work from the young man.
Huddersfield University sports journalism student James Harrison, so that will be something to write about next week.
Is that Danny Craven on the ground receiving treatment?
Thanks, Tom.
Is he involved in a... Yeah, he's involved in a collision with a teammate. You see that he goes down, bangs his head
Ian
on
Hardman,
the ground.
he collides with.
And there is Carl Harrison, who's hot-footed it here from Elland Road, having seen Leeds United, where he's a season ticket holder,
Well, there you go.
beat Reading 3-2.
He's smiling.
So it's something for Leeds fans to smile about. There's not been a lot for Leeds fans to smile about recently.
Why do you think he pulled his glasses down then? Do you think he was trying to be in disguise?
But he'll be pleased with that, and he's off to, like I said, off to Hull this evening for that reunion dinner.
Shake of the head, no. I think somebody's just asked him to buy a drink.
Well, it'll be a proud moment, won't it? As we see Danny Craven being led from the field here. We're watching his son score a try. That'll be a blow to John Sharp, the Featherstone coach.
And that try is improved by Pat Walker.
Keep responding on the
10-6.
Doing well.
Batley Bulldogs leads.
Keep working. Keep it up.
Lovely stuff from Batley as we see Danny Craven, and that will affect the rotation again. We've already seen one player go off who can't return for Featherstone. And being led from the field, we might just give him a concussion test, see whether he's able to come back. But Featherstone uphill, 10-6 behind on the scoreboard.
Batley, as we said earlier on, they haven't got a great record in meetings with this Featherstone club. They've lost the last 6, home and away. And they're not home and dry yet, and into the last 16. Two teams with great cup histories, of course. Batley, the first ever winners of the Challenge Cup, or the Northern Union Cup back then.
There's the offload. James Brown, second carry, well done.
And Alistair Leake has shown up well since he's joined the action, former Great Britain students player.
Well, both starting props taking 2 carries in that set of 6.
Leake once more gets the pass away. And they're running hot now. They are running hot. So Ainscough clutches the ball and claims the try, and rapid fire tries from the Batley Bulldogs, and suddenly the Dogs are scenting cup victory here. And Sean Ainscough, you cannot keep him out of the game. John Keir very calm, unmoved on the sidelines, but that's 2 quick tries from his team.
Well, Sean Ainscough scores the try, but it's that man who's carrying the ball, James Brown. That's his 3rd involvement in the set of 6. So not only does he do all the hard graft, look at the creative skill here. He hits the hole, he skips to the outside, comes up with a perfectly timed pass. Sean Ainscough cuts a little drop off, gets back into the field of play and scores a try. It's a good play from Batley early on in his second half.
Ainscough, it was a little pass from Alex Bretherton that opened it up for him. But this Alistair Leake, 24 years of age, has been busy since he came on the field. So Pat Walker, difficult conversion in this one, out wide, looking to draw the ball in, and he's just wide of the mark with that one. 14-6, Batley Bulldogs lead.
Well, the ruck speed from the Bulldogs in that set of 6 allowed Alistair Leake to just pop up and find the front row, James Brown, who's feeling good. He had to get that one in. James Brown's had a quality afternoon, and some of his involvements when he's been carrying the ball, offloading it, I think the Bulldogs have really benefited.
And problems for Featherstone because Danny Craven is off the field. Angela's got news on him.
Yeah, it is more bad news for Featherstone here. It's very unlikely. In fact, he's definitely not going to come back on in the second half, Danny Craven. Talking to the doctor, he went over to have a look at Danny when he was down on the ground, and Danny said to him, "I've come round now, but I can't remember anything about what happened." He was out cold, won't play again.
So that is a blow for Featherstone Rovers, and John Sharp just taking that news on board. So they're going to have to dig themselves out of a hole here because they're suddenly very much on the back foot against this Batley Bulldog side for whom James Brown is on fire. Here is Alistair Leake.
Well, his offloading game right the way through's caused problems. Here we go.
Keegan Hurst up the middle. That's the 5th tackle. It's with Walker. Walker shaped to kick. Brambani opens them up, and Don Brambani, superb solo try. And Batley are running away with this game now. Featherstone are on their knees. And Don Brambani, he does more than kick the ball. He showed a real sidestep there. And he gets his 4th of this season, and 3rd try in 5 minutes for John Keir's side. It'll take more than that to get him up off his feet.
Well, the body language from Don Brambani, should I say, has been a bit negative. He's not got what he wanted off that kicking game that was so effective in the first half, but he profits from some good work. Lovely pass from Pat Walker. Sees a grasping Talapapa, unable to get hold of him, and that's a quality try. Again, coming off the back of a fast ruck speed.
Pat Walker involved in the build-up to that, adds 2 more points. And from a real nip and tuck game at 6-4 at the interval, it's 26, 20 points to 6 to Batley.
Well, Brambani's been creative. You can see him going at the line with the ball in 2 hands, and he pumps it, which Missy Talapapa thinks that he's going to pass the ball outside, which he just holds off. As soon as he does that, he steps off the right foot. I think could have been the difference in this game as well, Bill. Talked about his kicking game in the first half, whether it be attacking kicks or he's going for distance, but coming up with a great try.
Went for the shortish restart, went out on the full, and it's going to be a penalty for Batley.
Yeah, well, they need the ball back as soon as they can, Featherstone, but it's the mistake. It goes straight out on the full. They try everything to get it back, Blockley. Unfortunately, it's out of the field of play. So from conceding a try, coming up with that error, they now find themselves 20 metres from the line.
And once again, under pressure. It's James Harrison. Try scorer in this second half. And here's Keegan Hurst, and Hurst, unselfish offload, and Kane Southernwood finishes off. Keegan Hurst, I suspect, could have gone all the way himself there, but a lovely little ball, and he found Kane Southernwood in support, and that's a 4th try in 6 minutes or so for this Batley Bulldogs side.
Again, Bill playing on the front foot. All comes around from the mistake from the kickoff, but just running hard, running straight and hard. James Brown, then on to Keegan Hurst. Keegan Hurst with a one-handed offload to Kane Southernwood, the halfback, and it just all going their way. And there's the kick on the full. That was after conceding that try. I've been very impressed with James Brown. James Brown passing the ball to Brambani, and then all of a sudden it's all gone away, and the Featherstone fans have gone really quiet.
And Walker, 2 more points for him, surely. Yes, it is, and it looks as though Batley Bulldogs are heading for their first Challenge Cup win over Featherstone since 1933, when they beat them by 9 points to 6.
I think it's because James Brown takes that ball so close to the line. The Featherstone defenders, they can't push up, they can't move on to the next man. Brambani, he finds the rampaging Keegan Hurst, who gives a beautiful offload. And the Bulldogs, wow, they're in complete control of this match now.
Another long restart. Well, this one has come off, and that's more like it. Good response from Featherstone.
Sorry, Bill, it's amazing how a game goes against you, and this is what they were looking for in the previous kick-off, for the ball to bounce just a metre within the field of play and then go out.
Stay together, lads.
Milner gets the perfect execution, the perfect strike on that ball then.
Okay.
But 26-6. They've got some coming back to do. Here's John Davis, and Davis back where he started there. Here is Luke Cooper, shown up well in this game, the 22-year-old. Ormondroyd now driving towards the line, and Leake it was, I think, making the tackle. Change of direction now. If they could come up with a swift response, Featherstone, then that could rattle them Here is Davis, and Davis for the line. What great defence that was.
Dom, on your feet.
And it was Harrison, I think, who was in the tackle there.
It was James
Rampani
Harrison.
is penalised. The first tackle, though, was James Harrison.
Yeah, it was quality play, that from James Harrison. Would have been a certain try.
As it is, it's a penalty. Here is Cooper now. Batley back on their own try line. Davis, here is Thackeray. Thackeray gets himself out of trouble and then goes wide to Missy Talapapa, who trips after he'd beaten the man. Talapapa plays the ball down the short side, but Jamie Cording, and Cording is just short of the try line.
On your feet. Good.
Those Featherstone Rovers fans at that end of the ground willing their side on, but that's a poor pass, and Davis has to redeem the situation and then finds Hardman.
Look at the Bulldogs attacking when they're defending. The reason that pass was a sloppy one, James Brown, it seems to be the James Brown show over the last 10 minutes.
Once again, good defence. Tim Spears is upended. Milner. Davis is there. Davis, little chip kick over the top, and Ainscough gathers it. And Ainscough manages to get out of trouble.
Fantastic stuff from Ainscough. Again, off the back of wonderful defence. Batley Bulldogs. I'm sure when John Keir talks after the game, he'll talk with pride of how his team has defended, especially when they've been under stress near the try line.
Well, that's the other part of the game, isn't it? You can do all the fancy stuff when you have the ball, but you've got to turn up for each other.
Dave Scott gritting his teeth and making some good yards there for the Batley Bulldogs, the Scotsman.
Keep working, John.
And then Walker was inside the 40, I think. He's put a good kick in, and Hardman just manages to redeem the situation.
Kicking into that bottom corner on the fourth tackle. Know that they've been close to their line, and Batley know this field. They know every inch of blade of grass. That's a strong carry from Blockley, bringing the ball away. I agree with you, Barry. And then when you look at James Brown and his involvement over the last 10, maybe 15 minutes, his offloads, his creativity from the big prop forward.
And that's a fortunate position for John Keir to bring his starting front rowers, Hurst and Brown, back on to make such an impact.
Hold the line.
Colton Roach is tackled. Here's Luke Cooper now. Red scrum cap. That's the fifth tackle. And Thackeray, little chip kick over the top from Anthony Thackeray. He'll chase, he'll gather. Now then, has he got some support? He'll put another kick in. And back comes Wayne Retty, and just in the nick of time, he beats Liam Blockley to that ball. Whoa, that was almost a spectacular try from Featherstone.
Well, this is Anthony Thackeray at his best. He tries something different, something that you're not expecting. He doesn't know what he's going to do when he gets that ball. He goes at the line, he's got a nice little kick. He's got great speed as well, and his awareness. He knows that he can't pass the ball, so the next option is to kick the ball.
The point I'm going to make is the left and the right winger are both where the ball is, trying to prevent the try being scored. Both Wayne Retty and Sean Ainscough from all the way over on the other side. They go to where the danger is. Just catching his breath now, Sean Ainscough, but that back three have worked particularly hard coming away from their own line. Scott, Retty and Ainscough.
Goal line dropout, but time running out for Featherstone Rovers. Here is big Jack Ormondroyd. I've got the feeling that Thackeray, just that second kick, just sliced off his boot a little bit and was a bit further in play than he wanted it to be. He was looking for more of an angle, which might well have found Blockley. It didn't, and Retty was able to diffuse the situation.
But it was good play from them wings, wasn't it? Retty and Ainscough, as Barry quite rightly said.
Here is Thackeray once more, trying everything he can, and this time he has got the ball away. And Jamie Cording claims the try. And Featherstone Rovers defiant to the end.
Yeah, you go.
Cording with his fifth try of this season.
Well, Bill, they just won't go away, will they? Cording just hitting a hole off Thackeray. And because Danny Craven's off the park, all the organising's left to that man, the number 7, Anthony Thackeray, and he fixes. I think it's James Harrison who comes out the line. He goes at him, he squares him up the gap then, because he bites in on defence. Opens up for that man.
Kyron Johnson, can he land this one from out wide? No, they needed that. 26-10. Jamie Cording wants a Huddersfield Giant.
Jamie Cording, he's the eventual profiter, but Anthony Thackeray takes it so close to the line that Danny Cowlin, he panics a little bit, he's a little bit spooked, he goes, and that creates the space for John Sharp's men.
Takes the score to Bulldogs 26, Featherstone 10.
John Sharp's team in this game till about the 50th minute, and then the roof fell in on them, and fallen in on Missy Talapapa there. That wicked restart, and he couldn't collect it.
It was so high, it doesn't do it justice. That kick was so difficult to field. He's got fingertips on it, unfortunately can't regather. He had a decent first half, Missy Talapapa, but it's been all Batley Bulldogs since then.
58 minutes, these two sides were neck and neck. And then those 4 tries in a space of 7 minutes for the Batley Bulldogs is what's decided this game.
And it's just, sorry Bill, it's just about wording down the opposition, isn't it? And that's what they've done. They've got no answer to Batley in the second half.
And there couldn't be more points for the Batley Bulldogs here, because they're on the attack once more. 4 tackles gone. About 8 metres out. Here is Kane Southernwood. Fires a long pass out, and Bretherton is held up. He's claiming, I'm not sure he is claiming the try.
I don't think he gets it down. I think the Featherstone player comes across.
Is he saying the ball was stolen?
You just check to see if the ball's been stolen. Tackle 4.
That's what Alex Bretherton, I think, is asking. I think Gareth Hewitt, he's taking the opinion that he might have a case. And Ian Hardman definitely takes that ball away. So the restart would be a penalty for the ball being reefed out by Ian Hardman, we think.
It's almost as though Bretherton handed it to Hardman in a way.
Well, he's got the ball away from his body and he's trying to get the ball down. So as he's trying to get the ball down, that's because it became loose, but here we go.
No try.
No try, ball steal.
And it was a ball steal, says James Child and Gareth Hewer in combination. Video ref and referee working together well.
Yeah, stay with us.
Batley will look to close this out now.
On the line, Andy, wait.
I was going to say, Bill, have they prevented the inevitable, really? Just 5 metres from the line here.
Day. Bang.
Where's James Brown? He's going to create something, surely.
He must feel good about his performance. Here is Kane Southernwood.
Tackle 2, release. On the goal line, wait.
Luke Blake, might he fancy his chances? No. Gets the pass away instead to James Brown. Brown is held. Bostock clinging on there, trying to delay things a little bit longer. Walker kicks out wide. Oh, Retty couldn't gather it.
Well, Retty goes looking for that ball. Liam Blockley is a much bigger man. Maybe if Retty was standing closer to the sideline, I know it's only maybe a metre away from where Blockley was, but with the ball coming down, it might have gone into his hands, but he went up and challenged for the big man, and I don't think he was going to ever win that contest.
Right, here's Batley.
But again, close to the line, Bill, the kicking game, so important for Batley.
Here is Missy Talapapa, scorer of that amazing try in the first half when he ripped the ball from the hands of Dave Scott.
Go. Let's get square, Alex.
Here's Bostock now. Featherstone going out of the cup then.
Nowhere to go, Bostock then. He takes 2 paces forward. He's immediately greeted by some Bulldogs defenders, and they're passing the ball way too close to the line because they can't get out. They can't gain any metres. They can't get any momentum.
Ormondroyd now. Well, Batley went into this game having had a little bit of a blip, having lost 2 games in a row and looked well below par in the defeat against the London Broncos in the Championship. but they've certainly found their form in this game. Thackeray, a little chip kick over the top again. This time, the Bulldogs are alert to the threat.
Yeah, they didn't fall for it. Then maybe what Featherstone should have done was kick early on in that set of 6 before the fullback had really dropped back. No wingers back there, and maybe come into a foot chase, kick it long, and then just come up with something.
Luke Cooper, the Featherstone defender, picks Wayne Retty up and dumps him on his back.
This will be Batley's first home win against Featherstone since April 2004. Their first Challenge Cup win over Featherstone since 1933. James Brown, unstoppable in this second half. Tom Lillycrop shown up well as well for the Batley Bulldogs. Southernwood drills the kick in, and Batley content to ride this game out now in the last 5 minutes. And the Batley supporters,
and they're looking to finish strong.
Real mess at the back there, and Tom Lillycrop nearly pounced.
Nobody wanted it.
That was one of those occasions where you go to pass the ball and you realise while you're passing it, nobody wants it, and you're trying to claw it back. Ian Hardman, I bet his life flashed before him then.
Right, let's go.
They've been very much second best in this second half of Featherstone Rovers.
They've not competed, Bill, in this second half. Seems that all the action's been down close to Featherstone's line. And I think in Ainscough and Retty, the way that they've returned the ball, they're taking it to the heart of the defence. They're not scared of running at the biggest. They seem to explode into the tackle. And this man carrying the ball, well, look at him. He's got all the skills, hasn't he?
Move!
Featherstone have to regroup after this. Back to championship action for them. They'll face the Lee Centurions, who of course themselves have gone out of the Challenge Cup today, having been beaten in Toulouse 10 points to 8. The headlines belong to Oldham, winners against Super League Hull Kingston Rovers, and Batley haven't finished yet, and this would be very, very just if James Brown could get over the try line. He can't, he's just short.
His hand's trapped on the ball.
Good defence, great defence, but too good that had to be.
Yeah, I think Bostock
was offside.
Yeah, he was.
Desperate lunge forward. Knocks the ball out of Luke Blake's hand.
Onside.
Will they go just for two, just to run the clock down? Yes, they will. Pat Walker signals to the posts.
Well, I think from the front rows union here in the commentary box, we'd like to see James Brown get reward for his effort. Both him and Keegan Hurst really set the platform in the opening 20 minutes. And then when he returned in the second half, again, took the game by the scruff of the neck. The kicking game from Bambani and Southernwood. And at times, Pat Walker has snuffled any threat out.
Walker, 2 more points for him. Thumps that one out of the ground. And Featherstone Rovers thumped out of the cup. 28 points to 10 in the end. It didn't look like being that way. We were talking about golden point after about 55 minutes, and then just suddenly Batley just got on a roll, and they didn't stop rolling for about 10 minutes.
Exactly, Bill, and regular followers of the Batley Bulldogs will know that they know how to play this pitch. They know what to do and when to do it, and they've done it to perfection in this game. They've just squeezed the life out of their opponents, let them expend all that energy in the first 15 minutes of the second half.
I love that one, squoze.
Squaws.
Another one from the McDermott Dictionary.
It's only a small dictionary, Bill. It's about 8 words in it.
3, hands out, Tim!
The clock
Hold.
counting down now. And Featherstone, well, they'll be concentrating on the championship. Batley, 3rd in the table, behind Lee and the London Broncos. We'll look forward to a place in the last 16. And maybe getting one of the big guns here at Mount Pleasant to see if they can produce a giant killing act. Featherstone are going to go down with their flag flying. The ball's not dead yet. Thackeray will keep it alive, and eventually, surely, Will Milner will be tackled, and that'll be the end of the action. And Batley have done what they do to so many sides here at Mount Pleasant. Dad Carl proud to see son James among the Batley try scorers in this second half. James Harrison that was. And the Batley Bulldogs around into the next round of the Challenge Cup after ultimately a very good victory, but it was nip and tuck for a long time. Let's go downstairs and join Angela and find out who the man of the match was.
Rupert Thacker handing over that big bottle of champagne to the man of the match. That was a fantastic game, and a 6-minute spell where you scored 4 tries. That's what you needed.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The boys really dug in today. We just asked for a response today. We've not been going very well the last few weeks, and we just did the basics right today. We defended really well and we completed our sets, and it was just good effort from the boys.
It was. You know, if you stuck to the game plan, you'd win this, and that's what he said at half-time, your coach.
That's exactly what we worked on all week, and like you said, we stuck to the game plan and come away with the goods, so it was good.
Dominic Brangbarney, congratulations on man of the match. Now we've got John Keir, the winning coach. It was all about keeping you cool there. It was a tight old game.
Yeah, it was. It was the easiest half-time team talk I've given because the players were buzzing. They felt if they kept doing what they were doing that we'd get them, and that's as it materialised. And those 4 tries, you know, it just swung the game and made us pretty comfortable.
Can I ask you, how much is choosing to attack downhill in the second half a big factor in winning a game like this?
Well, we're not bothered with play up. You've got to go 40 minutes one way, 40 minutes the other, so it doesn't matter which way you get it, but we're happy how it's panned out today.
And it's the first time you've won in something like 10 goes at Featherstone at home as well, so that's a great result for you.
Yeah, you're not as good as your last game, so we're all right.
But all the way to the Challenge Cup, you've been there a few times before, haven't you? I bet you'd look forward to that.
Yeah, we like the Challenge Cup. We'll look forward to the draw on Thursday and see what it throws up.
Thanks very much and congratulations, John.
Absolute pleasure, Angela. All the best.
John Keir saying during the week how much he loved this competition. It was like standing, he said, on the edge of the abyss. It was win or bust. Well, his side have come out on top here today. 2 points they trail by at half-time. 6 points to 4 in favour of the Featherstone Rovers. But 4 tries in the second half in the space of 7 minutes shunted this 5th round Challenge Cup tie heavily in favour of the eventual winners, the Batley Bulldogs. Featherstone just a solo response through Jamie Cording in the second half. Sean Ainscoe and John Keir go into the 6th round draw. We can give you the other fixtures and results from round 5. Okay, that's just confirmation that 3 times winners Batley Bulldogs, the first ever winners of the Challenge Cup, go through to the 6th round, 28 points to 10 in front of almost 1,500 people here in Batley. There were 2 games last night, Dewsbury and Wakefield progressing, and then today the headlines no doubt will all go to Oldham. 36 points to 22, winners over Hull Kingston Rovers, and Neil Hudgell has exploded in anger. The chairman of Hull Kingston Rovers saying there are dishonest people at his club and they will be smoked.